Thank you very much. In the next 10 minutes, Doris and I will have the possibility to introduce you very broadly into the topic, and we will start doing that right away. I really wanted to approach it a little bit high level and first talk to you about some trends that are influencing the way we produce our food and the way we demand for food. If we look at it from the level of the people, we see that the demographic developments already challenge us to produce 50% more by 2050. And we see that with the raise of incomes, we will be confronted with changing consuming patterns. There is also the technology component where we see that at a very rapid pace, new innovations are coming into the agri-food sector. I'm then talking about technologies like AI, robotization, automatization, the use of Earth observation data, and more. But also more fancy technologies like, for instance, virtual reality that is just at its first breakthrough. And finally, maybe the most important one, drive the environment. Climate change, food waste, and scarcity of our national resources are challenging the way we are producing our food. On the other side, we see some forces that intertwine with these trends. Trade and agreements have a high influence on how food is available all over the world. And if you look today at the economics of our value chains, we see a big globalization there, and that makes a challenge for smaller stakeholders to be part of that. Further, we see that our food production system is innovating at an incredible pace. For instance, an example of that is how more and more precision farming technologies, which is also part of the scope today, are finding their entrance in our food production systems. And finally, and not the least one, we see a huge transformation of our marketplaces. We see horizontal and vertical partnerships and integrations, and we see more and more business-to-business digital platforms arising, also business-to-consumers and online food selling. What does that mean? It brings us if in this interaction between these trends and the forces, as we see three big challenges coming up. First, ensuring agricultural productivity, conserving land and water resources, and finally, guaranteeing safe and healthy food. So what is the European answer to these big challenges? We are making a move towards a green and digital agriculture, a move that has already, of course, started some time ago. Already in Cork, it was clearly stated that our rural economies and our rural businesses would only be able to do sustainable improvements if we focus on digitization and on knowledge. It was made stronger in the Green Deal, where it was clearly stated that these digital technologies, which are in the focus today and that produce this farm data, are one of the critical enablers if we want to reach the sustainability goals of this Green Deal. And of course, in the end, the most concrete formulation is in the strategy, the Farm to Fork strategy, where we stated that we need a green and digital transitions in our farms. Well, coming a little bit more to the focus of today, how can digital technologies and database solutions that create these farm data help? Well, already for some time, we know this is done by the three-step circular movement of first sensing, then doing a smart analysis, making the planning, and get this implementations to smart technologies. So it means that we need to use farm data for decision-making, and not just decision-making, decision-making that is better, that is more precise and more efficient, and most of all, more sustainable than if we would not use farm data. And this is the way how we want to increase and how we want to motivate our farmers to increase their farm performances. Am I just putting this in a presentation and or just a statement from me? No, there are more and more publications supporting this, and there are some very interesting reports that I invite you to look into that state that we really can expect a high impact from Internet of Things, robotization, artificial intelligence, and big data. And we are then looking at enhancing our ecological efficiency and see yield possible increases up to 30%. Did we, or are we today just starting on this journey? No, we're not. Actually, already, and I was there at the start in 2015, we started with a focus group on precision farming, and we did many initiatives, as already was mentioned in the introduction. And another one that I specifically want to mention is the seminar on new digital skills for digital farmings. And what did we already learn there? We learned that farmers and cooperatives need to be involved in research and innovation. We learned that we need the advisors, that we need to foresee support tools and more training for our farmers. A very important one are the cost-benefit analyses and the fact that we need to have attention on the one side for small and medium farmers, but also need to do a regional approach. One size for all, it will not bring us to solutions. We further need still technical improvements, and these should be interoperable, tested in real practice, because that will lead to a quick adoption. And of course, stress again the need for the business model that support this. You cannot get in one slide everything that has already done and the huge steps that have been taken. So here you have a list of projects in Horizon 2020 that worked on all these topics and created great improvements. And on the other side, at least as important, we had the work done in the many operational groups in the framework of EIP-AGRI. If you look at our progress, I put the ones that progressed quite well in green, and we see that this involvement of farmers and advisories has greatly improved. Also regional approaches and further technical improvements, like for instance in projects like IOF 2020, were clearly made. But we still have work to do in involving these small and medium farmers, making our solutions even more interoperable, because on the adoption side there's still work to do, and that needs further support of this business model. And finally, I put it in red because it clearly relates to the topic of today, farm performances. We need to show how it adds to an increased farm performances and what is the cost benefit analysis for our farmers. So we are not yet at all at using the full potential of farm data for farm performance. I think we have still some important challenges ahead of us. First of all, our farmers need further support how to evaluate the benefits. The benefits for when you use farm data to improve your farm performances are sometimes materializing in the future, and it's not always very clear for farmers when these benefits will come. Still, our farmers need more fairness. They have the feeling that for digital technologies they do a lot of investments, and sometimes the return on these investments is made in other places than on the farm. They have the feeling that they put data into the chain, but not only, or in some cases, not enough value is coming back. And then the third one, you can bring all the fantastic technology together and innovate a lot. If there is no trust between actors that need to share data and need to work with the data, we will not make any improvements. And that brings me to the last two challenges that are actually a little bit vertical over the three ones before. If farmers have no digital skills or not enough digital literacy, they cannot evaluate benefits. They cannot see if there is fairness or not. And you cannot trust people if you're not able to fully understand what they are doing. And the last one is the challenge that our farmers meet to do this investment in the technology that can deliver them the data. I will now give the final slides to Doris, my co-presentator.
Yeah, thank you, Jürgen. Thank you for setting the scene. And against this background, what do we now concretely expect from this event today and tomorrow? So first of all, we would like to gather information about great initiatives which are out there, initiatives that collect, share, use, and reuse farm data for improving farm performance. We would like to get the insights. What are the tricks and what are the key enablers for those initiatives to succeed? And actually, I just learned already, and in the bus round, to learn some insights already. So the next step is, what is about information on good practices? Can we gather it and collect it on this event? Furthermore, it's about insights in the role of the different stakeholders on economic and environmental farm data collection, the use and the sharing. So it's very likely, as mentioned already, that we have different roles in farm data collection and farm data sharing. We have not only the farmer, we have the advisor who may help in the farm data analytics. We may have intermediates and platform providers. So let's shed light on the different roles and learn more about what works well in the cooperation, which models are out there to transpose farm data into, let's say, knowledge and information informing about agriculture production and how to steer it. Jürgen introduced a range of challenges. We will probably identify more challenges in the implementation and use of database solutions. But we expect here in the next 1.5 days also joint problem solving. Can we discuss it? Which solution has to be found in one region? Can they transfer to another region? And finally, it's about networking. So the EIP community knows that the events related and organized by the EIP team are serving networking proposals and also the identification of opportunities to collaborate. And actually what we hope and what it's about, we are talking about EIP community, we are not only referring to the, let's say, the operational groups and the members formally involved, but stakeholders interested in EIP activities and actively engaged and in the interchange. And we hope that the newcomers within this event also feel part of the EIP community and it's reinforced. Next slide, please. But moreover, we hope and expect that the results of this workshop lead to inspiration beyond the EIP community and have relevance beyond the EIP community. Indeed, in the next 1.5 days, we don't want to discuss about policy measures, intervention logic, programming, eligibility criteria. No, that is out of the scope. The focus is on practicalities, on the information generated at the ground in the implementation and use of database solutions. But still, the information and the results generated through this workshop are expected to form also other communities and stakeholders. So let me provide some examples. For instance, the programming of topics under Horizon 2020 and now Horizon Europe will benefit through the identification of knowledge gaps you may identify in the course of the next 1.5 days. And experience gained and challenges identified in those 2 days may help, for instance, the writing of proposals and the development of project implementation plans in the course of Horizon 2020, because they can address challenges you identify and discuss and find a common approach through research and innovation. Secondly, there will be a new program, the so-called Digital Europe program. We don't have to go into detail there, but also there are initiatives which might be inspired through the results of the workshop. For instance, there will be the conceptualization of so-called testing and experimentation facilities. That is to be expected a network of trial farms. And there are also the aspects to be considered which can be tackled on those experimentation farms may gather inspiration from the results of this workshop because they see which challenges have to be addressed. Furthermore, the implementation of digital innovation hubs in the field of agri-food, there we expect also to establish a network of digital innovation hubs, which also has interlinks in future with the EIP network community. And those digital innovation hubs may dedicate attention to challenges identified or innovation to be upscaled in their work indicated in this workshop in the next 1.5 days. And finally, also the common agriculture policy is an enabler for the digital transformation in the agriculture sector. So there, for instance, the result of the workshop may inform to tailor AGRI's activities. AGRI, the Agriculture Knowledge and Innovation System. So where can we give particular attention to because it's of relevance for the community in the field of digitalization and database technology solutions, apologies. And finally, under the Common Agriculture Policy, member states are currently also developing digitalization strategies to boost digitalization in agriculture and rural areas. And findings of this workshop may also inform the preparation of the digital strategies because they may inspire about innovative solutions which are to be considered or for also challenges which have to be addressed through digitalization strategies. And with that, I look forward to learn more within the next 1.5 years and to gain insights into your experiences. Thank you.